Global Chamber of Consumer Rights. Just before we start the event, I would be requesting all of you to please mute your respective devices. The whole session is being recorded, and this session will be shared with each and every one of you through Mr. GK, probably by the end of the day today or by tomorrow, so that all of you can actually go ahead and share it with your loved ones and your well-wishers on this honored program. Good morning and greetings in the name of the Lord. We thank each and every one of you, especially our dignified guests who are here today with us, who have come together to join this first time virtual Global Chamber of Commerce Excellence Awards. I would like to invite the chief guest for our program today, Honorable Justice Hulwadi G. Ramesh, who is the President of Karnataka State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission and former Acting Chief Justice of the Madras High Court. And also with him, joining us today, is our special guest, Dr. Shalini Rajneesh, IAS, who is the Additional Chief Secretary to the Department of Planning and Youth Empowerment and Sports of Karnataka. We take this beautiful moment and blessed occasion to welcome both of you to our wonderful online program. Following on, the Global Chamber of Commerce has been built on foundations and the insights of the organizers who wanted to bring a beautiful value into the society by understanding the needs of the consumers and making sure that each and every rights of a consumer is completely met and honored in this today's society. We all are consumers. We all have walked that path where we have understood that, hey, sometimes we do not receive the right information. Sometimes we do not receive the right acknowledgement. Sometimes we do not receive the right respect of anything that has been bought in the society. That is when the Global Chamber of Commerce, apologies, I'm just muting someone. That is when the Global Chamber of Commerce comes as a pillar of strength into the society through the patronship of few of the organizers who are present here today, and they wish to bring justice and to also provide excellence in awareness throughout the complete session. I hereby introduce the organizers of this wonderful chamber, Mr. Georgie Kochubarikan, who is the Global Chairman of the Global Chamber of Consumer Rights, Mr. Kishore Namdar, who is the National Executive Chairman of the Global Chamber of Consumer Rights, Ms. Geeta Malika Arjunan, the National Council Director of Global Chamber of Consumer Rights, and Lieutenant Colonel Ganga Datta, the National Council Director of Global Chamber of Consumer Rights. We welcome all four of you dignitaries also to this program. Without each one of you, this program would not have been a success and this organization would not have taken place. Thank you and welcome to each one of you. Following on, now we have the welcome address by Mr. Kishore Navnar.
A warm good morning to everyone. On behalf of GCSR, I would personally welcome our chief guest, Honorable Justice Hulwadi G. Ramesh, President Karnataka State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission and former Acting Chief Justice of Madras High Court. Also, I would like to personally welcome our special guest, Honorable Dr. Shalini Rajneesh, as Additional Chief Secretary to the Department of Planning and Youth Empowerment and Sports Karnataka. I would also like to welcome our Global Chairman, Shri Georgie Kochubarikan, Global Chairman of Global Chamber of Consumer Rights. With this, I would also like to welcome our dynamic Dr. Sandeep Marwa, Founder, Noida Film City, President of Marwa Studios, also Chancellor of AAF University, National Head of Media and Entertainment Committee. I also like to welcome Dr. Patnaik, who is the Vice Chancellor of ICFAI University, Sikkim, and member of Sikkim State Education Reforms Committee. I also invite welcome Dr. Mulchan Nahar, and also would like to welcome Ms. Savita, who is an IPS officer, a versatile writer, an IPS officer by profession, along with Dr. Lata Damle, who is the founder and chief scientific officer of FM. With that, I would also like to welcome my colleagues, Mrs. Geeta Mallika and Lieutenant Colonel Gangadatta. On behalf of GCSR, I welcome each individual who has joined us through Zoom call, supporting us and strengthening our unity. Welcome to the first ever event of GCSR.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kishore. Now I request the chairman, Mr. Georgie Kochubarikil, to kindly address the gathering.
Respected Honorable Senior Justice Hulwadi Ramesh, Honorable Additional Chief Secretary Dr. Shalini Rajanesh, Council Directors of Chamber of Consumers' Rights, awardees, the prominent personalities from various sectors, and our valuable viewers. Global Chamber of Consumer Rights is a registered, non-profitable, and non-governmental organization created to promote, protect, and propagate the interest of consumers. The aim of GCCR is to provide complete awareness and guidance on the rights and privilege of a consumer in our society. We have to provide, educate an organization on how to treat the consumer and teach the employees how about the consumer rights. The main objective of this Chamber of Consumer Rights is to provide maximum awareness to the consumers who utilize the different sectors like medical, education, infrastructure, retail, information and technology, and media and communication, and so on. We are educating consumers to help themselves. We are providing special education to women about consumerism. We are encouraging to follow desirable consumption standards. We are providing consumers with relevant information about the product and services. We also research, monitor, and identify ethical and non-ethical products and services. We are providing prior information to consumers about the authenticity of products and protect them also. Consumer rights and human rights act as the two sides of a coin, of the same coin. No amount of written legislation and acts can protect consumer interests unless they are implemented in letter and spirit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Georgie. Now moving forward, we would like to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Justice Hulwadi Ji Ramesh, who is the President of the Karnataka State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission and the former Acting Chief Justice of the Madras High Court. This man has done exemplary things in his life. Someone who has always played an active role in the society, who has taken keen interest to ensure that consumers are heard, consumers are envisioned, and consumers are always enlightened and given the power to make sure that they have a stand in the society. Such a man is of a noble cause, and he is of a great relevance to us. I hereby request the Honorable Justice to kindly share a few words of his wisdom and address the event. Sir, can you unmute yourself, sir, please, if that's okay? I will unmute you. So you may.
Good morning, everybody. Instead of individually addressing everybody, I would wish to shorten my address without formality. Mr. Kishore, who is the commencement of the inauguration, and Mr. Georgie and other organizers and other participants who are welcome to this function. My experience as nearly 30 years as a judge of the Session Court and the High Court at various High Courts, Allahabad, Madras, and Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka, and also as the chairman of the Consumer Forum, and also having presided over the Mediation Center, Madras, and Legal Services Authority, and also in the case of the Transport Appellate Tribunal. We have one thing we have to share is that our formal system of court functioning is time consuming, and also with the number of cases which are pending, we have seen throughout, there are cases of 1980 and 1981 are pending even in the Allahabad and other high courts. This is very painstaking and also the concern of every individual. That's how central government and the government of India has taken measures to reduce the timing and time consuming, especially the scientific way of dealing with things, especially the Consumer Protection Act that has commented in 1996 at the interest of the government of India informally. But now, two aspects. One is with regard to deficiency of service, and another is the consumer interest. The deficiency of service, whether is there service provided, it is the manufacturer or the service provider whose responsibility is for the individual consumer who has to take care of these things. Second thing is, every individual has to be educated to protect the rights, just like human rights and fundamental rights, which is enshrined in the Constitution of India and also in the human rights, universal human rights. It is a duty of every officers and every organization, including non-guested organizations like the SARC and other things. They have been service at the disposal of the public at large. So in 1986, when the Act has commenced, it was with a bare skeleton, but still it has a model to how it has to work out when compared to other old structure of ordinary civil courts. Ordinary civil courts consumes a lot of time, from 20 years to 50 years to dispose of case. Unlike that, this code, consumer court, has been recognized. Consumer courts have been confirmed with the magisterial powers and also contempt of court. There are two hierarchy of courts. Three. One is district forum at the district level, another is the state forum, and third one is the national forum. Against which only appeal lies to the Supreme Court on the question of substantial question of law. And now jurisdiction has been conferred up to 1 crore, from 20 lakhs to the district forum, from 1 crore to 10 crores to the state forum, and above that it goes to the national forum. That is one of the peculiar jurisdiction aspects. With regard to jurisdiction, is involved, district forum also can enter to protect and extend the interest of the individuals. One is with regard to deficiency of service by the provider, that is service provider. Second aspect is every individual have every right to argue the matter on their own, or to take the assistance of the advocates to conduct effectively their protect rights. Whenever the Indian Standard Act, whatever the any act provided by various countries, is to protect the consumers, extending to the food aspect, including the medicines, consumer products, or motor vehicle act, and also even nowadays we have come across the providing the shelter is one of the aspects. Even the private organizations are coming up for providing the house to houseless, and also to the minimum consumer is a man who is like a ration card holder. He must entitled to have one house or one service when he has paid. It should be provided at a reasonable price, which is fixed by the government of India and or by the experts, so that individual rights is protected. Other than that, we have seen now the India is also coming effectively with the government of India's recognition. Now the Contempt of Court Act is provided, which also enables the court, district forums and the High Court, and also the Supreme Court, and more than the Supreme Court, for National Consumer Forum. One level of avoiding the 226 powers exercised by the High Court is avoided. Directly the appeal lies from the State Forum to the National Forum, and only on substantial question of law it will go before the Supreme Court. The way in which the courts are functioning now, we have to educate the people through the legal literacy programs from the colleges and other organizations. Apart from the High Court, courts in India now assisted with the mediation and also with the legal service authority, which we are conducting programs in the village level and the taluka level and the school level, so that by encouraging the public at large and enlightening them, we are creating awareness about their rights and their liabilities also. The service provider has to be cautious and they have to pay heavy damages if there is any chance of duplication or any standard, the product is not satisfactory. And service provider has to be very careful. Gandhiji has said, service provider has to be careful, and also consumer are the persons. They are like the people. To entertain them, we have to honor them, we have to respect them. The dealing between the consumer and the service provider at any walk of life throughout the country and throughout the world at large has become a serious concern of every individual. Of course, in the European countries and American countries, we have seen heavy penalty has been paid for having committed a default in extending the service. And so also in India, since we are more conservative and since we are economically very conservative, we are only imposing a minimum penalty compared to other countries. So now the consumers are becoming aware of these facts. Individually, they are coming up to 1 crore. They can agitate the matter before the district forum and also before the High Court or before the state consumer forum. The limitation is from 20 lakhs to 1 crore is recently extended in the 2019 Act by the Government of India from 1 crore to 10 lakhs above. It is up to 10 crores. It has been extended to state consumer forum. Added to that, we also have a mediation. Apart from the regular civil courts method, we are appointing a procedure only filing through the affidavit along with some pleadings. It will be met with by objections or counterfiling, and also the evidence has been recorded through the affidavits and counter affidavits, and also it has been so just 2 minutes, I will finish up. And more than anything else, the procedure, summary procedure which we are adopting is enabling us to dispose of more number of cases. Because if we enlighten the public at large with the available timings, we have to have a shortcut methods. That summary inquiry, recording of the evidence through the filing of the affidavit and counter affidavits, and through the question and answers, and also reply also should be very minimal, and must be people must be able to get a relief within 6 months or maximum 1 year. The long pendings of the case also affecting on the economy of the individual bank borrowers. Most of the cases, especially insurance companies and the banks are involved. Apart from that, now the builders and the developers who are having a high-stake matters, they are delaying the process because of their commitments. Apart from that, they are investing the amount in the land and other properties, having congregated the amount from the public at large. that is misusing of the public money. That is one of the aspects which is a matter of serious concern. When money is given to a developer, it should be promptly used for the development of the housing projects or any other projects. Instead, they are investing on some other projects, and that's why abusing and misusing the power of the power that is vested with him. The discretion should not be abused. And there are also persons are responsible like any other government organization. Whenever they are being vested with the power of some sense of responsibility should be there. And apart from the government organizations, including government organizations, everyone is responsible to the consumer. The government organization, or even for that matter, the judiciary for that matter, when it has decided in the state policy, judiciary is one of the organ of the state. It's also responsible if any default is committed, including the Supreme Court or the High Court or any other courts. So public awareness is developed. All organs, either judiciary or the executive or the legislature. Of course, we are not dealing with the legislature at most. Now we are dealing only with the executive and the judiciary. Judiciary is responsible to extend the relief to the public at large, speedy justice. It's a summary inquiry. Now, this is investment. People are approaching the state consumer forums and district forums more than the civil courts because they think that individually they can conduct the cases. Second, the time consuming is very limited, and also now the penalty power is also given to the district presidents and the High Court, the consumer forums, so that people are getting a faith in the system. Only thing is that we have to create a mediation centers and also legal service authorities through which we can acknowledge and educate the public at large at the grassroots level, like individual talukas and village levels and other things. So now the responsibility is not only of the public at large, even it is just a minute. 1 minute. What we want to say is ultimately government is also responsible. Government organizations are also responsible, including postal departments or any other department which are serving the public at large. The housing board is there, the government to provide extend housing facilities to the public at large. Likewise, the individual developers coming in forward because of the so much of population which we are facing with. Now, the efficiency of quality product. If you buy a medicine, it should be quality. It should be Indian standard. Likewise, other standards are there. Hope that we can discuss on any other seminars on this aspect. I am thanking you for all of you have patient heard me. And especially why this consumer forum is becoming more popular is a concern of the world at large. Because every consumer got a right, and every government and other organizations are got a liability or responsibility to extend the facility. Thank you all.
Thank you, our Honorable Justice. I think it is a privilege, and I think more than a privilege, it is so much of consideration that the Honorable Justice has shared so much of insight on understanding what are the valuable needs and what are the position of a consumer is. I would like to re-quote one of the great wordings of what our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, said. And particularly in terms of consumers, and we can see it on the footstep of each and every organizations or shops that we enter into our daily needs across India. And exactly as the Honorable Justice said, a customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us, we are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider doing in our business. He is a part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. These great words of our father, someone who has brought light into our lives, someone who has always said that the society has to have a consumer and that rights of that consumer has to be upholded in very simplistic ways. Just as how the Honorable Justice has said, this forum or this organization is built on that fundamentals to understand that every consumer, whether he buys a medicine, whether he buys a real estate property, that the hard-earned money that each of them have spent or created during their livelihood is being spent, and there is an organization that can stand and withhold that to make sure that they are honored. That's the most important thing, because looking at a country like India, where consumers are at the largest, we have to be responsible in educating them and making sure their rights are upheld. Honorable Justice, we thank you for those wonderful, wise words that you have shared with us. Following on, I would like to welcome the special guest, Dr. Shalini Rajneesh, IAS, who is the Additional Chief Secretary to the Department of Planning and Youth Empowerment and Sports of Karnataka. I would like to invite Madam to share a few words of her insight.
Thank you very much. At the outset, let me thank Global Chamber of Consumer Rights to have given me this opportunity to be part of this program and understand the most useful service that is being rendered to crores of people of the country. Respected Honorable Justice G. Ramesh Sir, Chairman of the Global Chamber of Consumer Rights, and all the awardees of today's function, and all the other audience who are there joined with us in the virtual event. I would take this opportunity to share with you a case study of Sakala, Shivaji share it, which is a model of Karnataka and has been recognized even at the national level with the Prime Minister's Award. It's very relevant in today's session, where we look at government providing all the public services to the people in general who have to be treated as consumers, and to whom government, each and every functionary, has to be accountable. So how do we ensure that? How do we institutionalize that their rights are respected, the systems are created, and the accountability is built into it to the satisfaction of our people, which they have as a fundamental right enshrined in our constitution? We look at certain issues as in public service delivery. What are the issues in governance today? What is the policy? What innovations Sakala has made? What were its successful strategies? And what are the transferable lessons to other public services, which, as Honorable Justice Sir said, even judiciary is giving a public service. So each one of us, banks, they're also doing a public service. How can we make it, all encompassing so that citizen benefits from them all? If we look at governance issues today, ask any citizen and he'll say, government is inefficient, they are corrupt, we have grievances, nobody looks at us, nobody values our time, there are delays, complications, and so on and so forth. What can we do to make our governance citizen friendly? As in the initial introduction, it was mentioned that we give right information to the citizen. We give them an acknowledgement for the demand that they have placed. And finally, we give them the respect that, yes, we respect your time, we respect your money, we respect the fact that you are a dignified customer and we need you rather than you needing us. So there are certain issues which are required, certain institutional mechanisms that are required to make it happen. And this is what Sakala has done. I'm very happy to say that this Sakala word was coined by the people. So I therefore call it one act which is leading to many reforms. And it's an innovation of the people, by the people, and for the people. In Kannada, Sakala means in time or good time. And the slogan that the people chose for government servants was, no more delays, we deliver on time. What are the objectives of this act? We have standardized and simplified citizen service delivery systems and made government more accountable as per the act. We brought in 1,122 public services. This is the highest ever in the entire country. Others are at the range of 400, 500 or so on. We have almost covered most of the services in the government domain, and out of all the departments are having services under Sakala in a phased manner. And the idea is that we specify a time within which the service will be delivered. And if it is not, then the citizen gets compensated for the delay or the default. What is the process? A citizen who needs a service goes to the Sakala counter or through an online format. They place a demand for the service. They get a 15-digit unique ID acknowledgement onto his or her SMS mobile number. And then the service is processed within the time which has been specified under the Act. And finally, much before the due date of delivery, the person gets an SMS saying that your service has been completed. If it is an online service, suppose a birth certificate or a marks sheet, it can be just delivered online also. Otherwise, they can collect it from any of the citizen service centers. Today, where are we? 23 crore people, 230 million services have been already delivered in time by the people since 2012 as it started. And there is 99% of annual average disposal, 1% delayed disposal, 3% rejection of those cases which cannot be done as per the rules and Act, and with due reasons given, the rejections have been given. The biggest advantage of this system that has been built in, one, it is of course an IT system, so no human interface. The second is the public grievance redressal system, wherein we have got a single call center number 08044555455. All that the consumer has to do is that after that acknowledgement number is given and a due date is given, suppose he or she doesn't get it, all that they have to do is call up this number, tell this acknowledgement number, rest every detail is available with the call center, and this simple call becomes an appeal. He doesn't have to go with records, go around, giving applications and so on, meeting people. No, it is a registered appeal online. And there starts another Sakala time frame for the appellate authority as well. So if the prescribed officer was supposed to give it in 10 days, the appellate authority gets a time of 7 to 8 days, and he has to finalize what is the reason for delay, see that if there is a default, he would rectify it, give the service, and if the citizen wants compensation, the compensation will also be given directly to his bank account. He doesn't have to come and take it. So far we've got 1,528 citizens compensated and about 12 lakh such appeals filed through the Sakala call center itself. The basic questions people have in mind, what is it that it has led to? Was it HR, that is the human resource? Was it improved upon? How different departments came onto the single platform, and so many things. What was the employees' involvement and the citizens' awareness role? So we went on to analyze what is this innovation so that it can be replicated by others. The NIC has been a big partner in this online services. We've gone for analytics, big data analytics. We've engaged cyber cafes into this so that they become citizen friendly and non-official human interface platforms. Then we have a single window grievance redressal thing. And then the citizen charter has been enforced. So you just don't announce that this is your right, but you also specify that this is your right, and if you don't get it, this is your redressal. Finally, we went in for, this is the portal, how it looks, and anybody, this is on the public domain, you can all type into sakala.kar.nic.in, and you can see today the figures that I've told you. As on this moment, how many applications received, how many are still pending, and with whom. So everything being so transparent, there is a threat that I'm being watched, therefore I better perform. So that is what has worked as a psychological aid to us. We went in for a third-party evaluation through International Market Research Bureau, and I'm very happy to share the findings. It showed that after the Sakala Service Act was brought in and implementation started, the time taken was considerably reduced, as you can see from the bar charts. They also talked about the different reforms which were, that's why I said it is one act, but many reforms. What happened was, as and when we moved around with these services, their grievance redressal, particularly I would say the grievance redressal, The citizen said, here I'm stuck. Because of this, I did not get. So we went on to the root cause analysis and removed that. One simple example was 60,000 applications for police verification for passport were pending when we started this act. And now within 20 days, you get it online. So the entire process which was there, non-integration between the passport office and the police department, all those things were reformed, and a lot of service delivery efficiencies came in, which was the cause or the call as I started in the beginning. We found the changes in the attitudes of the people who were manning these services or counters. And this is the citizens' response, that they were happy. The officials were polite. Earlier, they were very rude. And they also found that this process was so simple. Only 4 parameters were asked: your name, your mobile number, your address, and the service that you want. And the rest, everything was taken care of by the government record systems and integration of various softwares that we had. The employees, surprisingly, who were supposed to be tightened up for this, also welcomed this to a large extent, because they owned it up. They felt during the change that training that we gave, capacity building that we did, we made them understand how important it is to get into the shoes of the citizen, because tomorrow you are also a citizen and you will also need a service, whether it's your pension or it's your medical bill reimbursement and so on. So they really welcomed it, owned it, and they were happy that their work burden has reduced because of the technology and the procedural reforms that have been made. That is what has probably made it successful and sustainable. Just to analyze, what are the critical success factors? We had committed employees due to the capacity building. We had aware citizens. We had a lot of awareness campaigns for the citizens using all modes. We had the political will, which was very, very important. And finally, the mission mode. Somebody was on their head monitoring every minute, and also in the public domain. Various challenges we did face, and even today we face, but they are the ones which help us learn and improve our services further. So this in a gist are the success factors which can lead to replication across other services. We're looking at improving both the digital literacy and the legal literacy of the people of Karnataka. We are trying to have our NSS volunteers work with the Legal Aid Services Authority of Karnataka, and we'll work out a platform wherein everybody knows what is my right, how can I get it, and if I don't get it, what do I do? So this is the end of my presentation. I feel it's an idea whose time has come, and we need to replicate it. And I seek the collaboration of Global Chamber of Consumer Rights to connect us with all the consumer courts, consumer forums, various people rights organizations, so that it becomes part and parcel of their knowledge, their information sphere and their action sphere, and makes each one of us, whether I'm here or not, it doesn't matter. It's the institution which has to continue, and it has to be a win-win scenario, both for the citizens as well as the employees. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini. I believe what you have just said has made a tremendous impact to so many things that we've actually thought about. What we understand is that today an organization always works better. But today you have actually shown us that when you inculcate that accountability parameters, and you have used technology to its best, I mean, using MIS records, using large data accountability, you've actually cornered every root cause analysis problems that today our governmental organizations have. So, I mean, people should know that we are taxpayers. When you go to a government organization, that person sitting in front of you, it is not that we have to call them sir, madam, justice, or all the higher authorities, but in fact, they look at the customer and say, or the consumer and say, we are here to serve you. Please,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
have a seat. And I think that is the most important change that our country should have. And as a youth, um, I am so honored to see that our India has taken a beautiful step using Sakala. And I think I'm one of those few people who face that wrath of getting a passport of 120 days on a verification. And today, when I know that, you know, a 20-day verification is good, that becomes so much of an accountable entrust. And we've moved so forward. When I saw that findings of the graph findings from what it was and after what Sakala has implemented, what it went down to, it's a 50% reduction in the times. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal because it is a country of crores of people, not a country like UAE or not a country like any other small countries in the world where micromanagement is possible. Today, this is a level of micromanagement that we need to know so that higher authorities do feel accountable, that every person who's stepping into that door has a value, and if he is not served, you are held accountable for it. Madam Dr. Shalini, that has been wonderful, and thank you so much for this beautiful initiative. I believe the GCCR and the members and the founders will be right behind you as a pillar of strength and support to spread this. And I believe let it spread across India. Let this reform spread across India and make that as I think it should be a proud badge to every consumer. I'm with Sakala and with the GCCR. So if you guys wanna take a ride on me as a consumer, I'm sorry, you're going to be held accountable. And I think that's a great initiative. Thank you so much.